Everyone, settle down. Mr. Griffin is about to make an announcement.
Attention FHS. I just want to remind everyone that at the football game wearing a mask is mandatory, at all times. If you refuse to wear a mask you will be asked to leave. And it is a great day to be a Mustang. Wearing a mask is mandatory. Wearing a mask is mandatory. Mask is mandatory. Mask is mandatory. Mask is mandatory. Mask is mandatory.
Mask is mandatory.
If only COVID was not a thing, we could have banned like usual. But sadly, the restrictions must remain in place because of the virus's presence. However, if no one could bring the virus into the band, then restrictions would be unnecessary and band could continue as usual. I know what must be done. Mr. Griffin, we need to quarantine the entire school.
What? Why? People still have to go home to their families. They could bring the virus in from outside. And how would you quarantine 2,200 people?
We don't let them leave school property.
But what about when they have to go home?
We don't let them leave school property. They will remain at school for 14 continuous days.
There are so many issues with this. First off, there is no way we're allowed to keep kids overnight at school, much less 2 weeks. Second off, we have to provide beds, food, and all other essential things to 2,200 people. And third, what does this even accomplish? After the 14 days are over, the students return to normal society and get reinfected. So the entire quarantine is pointless. Nelson? Hello.
Oh no. Nelson, you must find some way to convince Mr. Griffin to let you quarantine the entire school. Or else we won't be able to have normal band.
Hello. Mr. Nelson, please, not this again.
You need to quarantine for 14 days.
Huh? Why?
I have cooties, I mean COVID.
Nelson. What? Why didn't you say so earlier? Now I'm going to have to leave for 14 days, since you've exposed me. How do you know you have the virus?
This right here tells me I tested positive.
Mr. Nelson, that is an infant rectal thermometer. Not a COVID test.
I know that. And it says I have COVID.
Okay, but why do you have an infant thermometer?
Well, it's actually a really interesting story, Mr. Griffin. So you see, without the Marchathon, the band was very short on revenue. So the other directors and I got together to come up with some way to regain the lost revenue. Even with these donations, we are still close to $90,000 short of our yearly average. We might not have enough food to feed Air Vent Arnold.
Not Air Vent Arnold. Ever since he became stuck in the school's ventilation system, that dwarf orangutan has made even the hardest days bearable.
Indeed, Air Vent Arnold is a spectacular addition to the Friendswood Band program. Losing him would be like losing my entire family.
Then something must be done. We have to find a way to make money for the band somehow. Aha. We should harness the children.
Child labor?
No, we take the children and raise them as our own. We should also demand payment from the families of the children for their safe return.
So a daycare?
Exactly.
But Mr. Nelson, who would trust two middle-aged men who live in a band hall to take care of their child in a high school band hall?
I don't live in the band hall.
Who would trust two middle-aged men, one of which lives in a high school band hall, to take care of their child?
Mr. Sanchez, I'd been to your house. Why do you live in the band hall?
Home is where the heart is, and my heart is here. I just own a house so people don't think I'm weird.
Okay, it's still weird.
But still, how are we going to get people to be comfortable with leaving their children with us?
I think I have a solution. We need a name. It must be comforting to the parents. To let them know, these people know what they're doing, and I can leave my child with them.
How about Motherly Mother Sanchez's Music Time Play Place for Little Children?
That is absolutely beautiful. That shall be the name our child care center shall bear.
We still face the original issue of people not wanting to leave their child with two men who live in a band hall.
I have solutions. Motherly Mother Sanchez, and my assistant, Auntie Nelson, will be at HEB showing people the wonders of our new business. I just need to get dressed.
Okay.
Do you really think that dressing up a motherly Mother Sanchez the Warlock Princess will make people give me their children, and then pay me for their safe return?
Absolutely. And saying it like that will make people trust us even more.
Fantastic. Now let's find some families to advertise to.
I am confused on so many levels right now. So you're telling me that you and the directors tried to start a child care center out of the band hall. Called it Motherly Mother Sanchez's Music Time Play Place for Little Children. And then you went with Mr. Sanchez to HEB dressed as infant girls, and tried to persuade families to send their child to your daycare by telling them you will demand money for their child's safe return.
I couldn't have explained it better myself.
Did you actually make any money?
$50,000.
What? How?
The Child Protection Service sent us a check in the mail for $50,000. They said it was for numerous violations.
Mr. Nelson, are you sure that wasn't a $50,000 fine?
Well, no. But at least we got some recognition.
So back to where this meeting was supposed to go. You said this infant thermometer says you tested positive for COVID-19.
Yes, and now you must quarantine for 14 days.
Why aren't you quarantining then?
I'm quarantining here.
Well then. So I guess I should leave.
Yes, go, get out here. Leave right now.
Geez, you don't have to be rude. I'll see you in 14 days.
Attention FHS, all students need to report to the auditorium immediately for a band-related announcement. To be continued.